Alright guys, so today I got myself in a bit of a predicament. We were taking out my dad's truck, this F250 right here, and whenever I was picking up some stuff for the WRX, I'd heard this noise from the back that went pshh. So since I heard that noise, I did some research and it sounds like it's the rear airbag because it did ride a little bit funny afterwards. So we're gonna check it out, replace it if that is the case. So we got it pulled into the garage here. Huge truck. So we gotta get this tire popped off first. So I already got it loosened and I took the cap off because it's got these fuel wheels. So got the cap taken off, already loosened all the bolts. So we got our bearings right now. I just gotta get this wheel off. We'll do some inspection, replace it if we need to, but yeah, we gotta try and do this before he notices because I don't want him to know that I did this to his truck. Or obviously I'll let him know, but I want it all to be fixed. That way it's like, hey, so I broke your rear airbag that's on the suspension, but I fixed it, so it's all okay. So that way it's like, oh, okay, then it doesn't really matter. Definitely is a lot heavier than WRX. Okay, so now that we got the wheel off here, we can see that the airbag's not fully inflated and it looks like maybe this popped off, so we can try and put that back on and see if that fixes it. But also, regardless, we got these new shocks for it. They're Bilstein. Should help it not be as bouncy in the back because sometimes it is a little bouncy in the back, so this should hopefully fix that. And then put that line back on the airbag, should be a lot nicer. So whenever you change the suspension on your car, sometimes it can affect some things. So like once we got the lowering kit on the Subaru, it does get a little bouncier whenever you go over big bumps, and it kind of like thuds a little bit over smaller ones just because we did change the suspension for it. So since this truck does have a lift kit, these should help it with not being as bouncy and stuff whenever you're going over bumps. I still have to get rid of these old wheels for the WRX, but we can kind of see them next to each other. That thing is huge. I think these are 35-inch tires. Don't know exactly how big the wheel is, maybe like a 22 or something. So yeah, it looks like the wheel's a 20. That's bigger than the wheel and tire combo I have on the car right now. So I was checking out this air line because it was making a hissing noise, and I think that's how we could tell that there was even a leak in the first place. But whenever I was looking up the airlift suspension, it seemed like this quick connector you just plugged into and this whole angled piece was already just right on top of the thing, so I think it completely snapped off, which means it just needs a whole new thing. So that's not good at all, but we're at least gonna get the shocks done since they seem pretty rusted out, and it should help with the ride quality. Alright, so already got the bottom part of the shock out. Just gotta go up there, get the top part out. You can't really see it here, but whenever you're underneath it, it's the same thing as the bottom one, just one bolt you gotta take out, and then we can chuck those new ones in. Let me see if I can zoom in up here. There's our top one we're gonna be going for, right behind that line. Just 2 bolts, a lot simpler than the WRX was. This thing was well overdue for some shocks. If this is an advertisement to not live in the Northeast, I don't know what is. Whenever you push it down, it doesn't even come back up. Pushing it down right now, look at this. You can't even tell it's moving. Now let's check out our new guys here. This thing looks pretty nice. If we give it a little push, so we push it down, look at this. Right back up. Oh, it takes a lot to push it down. Already back up. So these should be a lot nicer than this piece of crap. So honestly, it only took like 2 minutes to just slide it right back on there, and then the nut helped push it back onto the bracket. And then this bottom one, you had to friggin' bench press it because it was literally sitting the whole way out here. Push it up and just barely slide the bolt in. But I'm gonna look up the torque spec for him now, and then we'll get it torqued down, and then have to do this other side over here. Okay, so it turns out the torque spec for these on the bottom and the top is like 210, 230. But my torque wrench only goes to 150, so I'm just gonna extra crank it, and then it'll probably be fine. Alright, so here we go. As you can see, got the new one on this side all installed. Go over here. Got the new one on this side, you can see back there. Got the PA rust, you can see right there. So yeah, I gotta take it for a test drive now, see if everything's good. Oh, it doesn't bounce as much, I feel like. I feel like it was a lot harsher.
It's very...
Here's one on the right.
It's very soft.
We missed it.
Starting out like this.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that was fast. I might lose some smoke. That doesn't bounce at all. Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot stiffer. Because it'll be able to stay planted. Wonder what our mile per gallon is right now. Alright guys, so here we got the truck all done. After going for that ride together, we can see that it feels a lot better in the rear, so pretty happy about that. Drives a lot better than before, not as bouncy whenever you're going over those bumps, which is definitely because those shocks just wouldn't even come up at all after you would go over a bump or something. I mean, you guys saw whenever I pushed them down, they like stayed down, and these new ones were very springy, so I got no worries that they're going to be super nice on the truck. Luckily, Dad wasn't too mad about not being able to do the air suspension, because he said, I'd have thought that it was going to go out soon. It started making a little bit of a hissing noise, and I guess it just finally popped off the whole way and broke the connection off. So it needs a whole new airbag in the rear, because that little bent fitting is supposed to go on top of it, but it completely snapped off the airbag. So unfortunately, it is going to need a whole new airbag. I'm pretty sure it's airlift suspension, which is kind of more expensive, I think, of air suspension. He said don't worry about it. He's going to replace it at some point. Honestly, it's fine. He doesn't really tow stuff anymore. So he said it should be fine. So I got off the hook in this scenario. But everything is good to go now with the truck. Feels a lot better driving, which is good. Those Bilstein shocks are very good. They're also what's in the front too. So now it's all Bilstein shocks, which is kind of what he wanted. So now it's all just the same brand of shock. But that's all that we got for today's video. Thank you guys so much for checking it out. I appreciate all the support you guys are giving on the channel. We're blowing up recently. I can't believe the numbers that we're putting up on just every single short and every single video that goes out. So thank you guys so much for that. Crazy new videos coming soon, so can't wait until you guys see that. Thank you so much again for watching. We'll see you in the next one.